Photoshop's preferences offer a way for you to customize the way that your copy of Photoshop behaves. In another course in the library, Photoshop CS4 Essential Training, I mentioned some preferences that you may want to customize no matter what you're doing in the program. But here I'd like to emphasize one preference choice that I suggest you make whenever you're doing web work in Photoshop, and that's to make sure that the ruler's unit of measurement is set to pixels. Before I show you how to do that, I'm going to go ahead and make my rulers visible by going to the application bar here on a Mac or the menu bar on a PC and choosing from the View Extras menu, Show Rulers. You can see that my rulers are currently measuring in inches. If yours are too, you're going to want to change the default preference so that the rulers display in pixels rather than inches. To do that, on a Mac, I'll go to the Photoshop menu, on a PC to the Edit menu, and from there choose Preferences, and then I'll move over to the subcategory Units and Rulers. I'll move that dialog box down so you can see the rulers, and I'm going to go to the Units field, the Rulers menu, and from there choose Pixels. It's as simple as that. As soon as I do, you can see that the rulers are now measuring in pixels. And I'll click OK to close this dialog box. If you ever need to switch back to inches for any reason, say you're working on a print job, you can do that by going back to Preferences, or just do it on the fly by moving into either the horizontal ruler here or the vertical ruler here, and right-clicking on a PC or holding the Control key as you click on a Mac, and choosing inches from the pop-up menu. And then you can go back the same way to pixels by right-clicking on a PC or control-clicking on a Mac in one of the rulers and choosing pixels. The rulers come in really handy for measuring and for positioning items in a web design. You can adjust the origin point, the 0, point of the rulers by clicking in the top left corner and dragging to wherever you want those points to be. So if I want to measure this Polaroid-looking photograph here, I can drag down to its corner and release, and then I have the 0 point here and the 0 point here on the rulers. And if I want to put the origin points back where they were, I just double-click in that top left corner. By the way, when you do have the rulers open, you also have access to guides, and guides are also very useful for positioning and measuring as you're laying out a web page. To create a guide, I can go to either the horizontal ruler or the vertical ruler and click and drag to bring out a guide, and just drop it wherever I want. The guides are also useful for showing you where you are on the ruler. I can drag out more than one guide. I can make the guides temporarily invisible by going to the View Extras menu on the application bar on a Mac or on the menu bar on a PC and disabling Show Guides. I'll turn that back on by going back to that menu and choosing Show Guides again. If I want to delete one of the guides, I make sure I have the Move tool selected in the toolbox, and then I come over the guide until I see this double-pointed arrow, and I just click, hold, and drag off of the canvas. If I want to clear all the guides, I go to the View menu at the top of the screen and down to Clear Guides. Rulers and guides can be very useful when you're designing a web page layout or working on another kind of web image. But just be sure that when you're designing for the web, you first set the ruler's preference to pixels in Photoshop's preferences.